Tonight's big stories and tomorrow's forecast from the region's most watched news team. This is WDBJ7 at 10 on WDBJ24.
As everyone started their holiday weekend, it was anything but relaxing for some throughout our region. Severe weather, tornadoes, and flooding came through some of our hometowns, leaving damage with a painful impact.
But it was sucking the blankets up off of it. It was such a force.
Tonight, we'll take a look at the hardest hit areas. WDBJ7 will also bring you a bird's eye view of the wreckage from Air 7. This special edition of your 10 o'clock news on WDBJ24 starts right now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Melissa Gayona.
And I'm Logan Sherrill. The severe threat is over, but there is a long journey ahead for some folks down in Franklin County. This cell phone video shows those terrifying moments as a tornado touched down near Fishburne Mountain Road. And once it moved out, this is what people were faced with. Officials say at least 11 structures were damaged and 2 people were hurt, but they are expected to be okay. WDBJ7's Leanna Scacchetti kicks off our coverage from Franklin County.
I come outside and looked, I could hear it coming. It sounded just like a train.
No more than an hour after a tornado ripped through this ridge in Franklin County did the friends and family of the Andersons come running.
I could see the roof was gone, so I turned up in the driveway and I got out and started hollering for Dolores, and she was in the basement, thank God. And I had to unlock the door, but we got her out pretty good.
Mr. Anderson arrived next, finding his home in shambles.
Devastating, but could be worse.
Bricks are scattered, trees uprooted, the path of this destructive storm made visible in the ridgeline. But equally as visible in this neighborhood is the love.
There are a lot of people out here. Who are these people?
Just friends. Just friends and neighbors that do anything they can to help.
Between downpours and wind gusts, friends salvaged items they could.
Yeah, we're tight. Real tight. Good people.
The Andersons have a place to lay their head tonight, clean clothes, and a reassurance that not even a tornado can uproot this family.
It's just take time. Just makes you feel God's here helping with them too.
And we're also getting a bird's eye view of the storm's intensity from Air 7. Once that weather settled in Franklin County, photographer Sam Doyle took to the sky.
From the moment Air 7 left the ground, it was clear to see how wide the path of destruction spread along US 220 in Franklin County. Hundreds of yards of trees uprooted and snapped like twigs. Just next to where Air 7 took off, a home that stood for over 40 years on Windy Ridge Road nearly flattened, its contents thrown all over the backyard. About a half a mile south and across 220 from the first house that's on the top right corner of your screen, more people are picking up the pieces of their destroyed property. This double wide on Fishburne Mountain Road was reduced to a pile of rubble, a rental property that was undergoing repairs and was empty at the time of the tornado. A nearby building less than 100 yards away still stands but is missing most of the shingles on its roof. Across Fishburne Mountain Road, Scrapco, a metal recycling business, has buses pushed around like toys, one coming to rest on top of another. A final look at the path of destruction and the power of this storm. People who live in the area just thankful no one was hurt.
Along with that confirmed tornado, WDBJ7 followed tornado warnings throughout the day, and we stayed on the air to keep you updated and keep you safe. Let's go ahead and head on over to Chief Meteorologist Brent Watts with a look at just how impressive today's severe weather outbreak was. And Brent, there was one thing I remember Ian said earlier today that really stuck with me. The line of, I guess, rotation activity, it looked like a conveyor belt at one point.
It
just
did,
one
yeah.
after another.
One after another, especially through Halifax County today where we saw those storms. And what I want to do is just kind of give you the setup of what happened today. We've got this large low, a lot of very humid air that came into place today. And we also had winds coming in different directions from the south. And then the whole storm itself was moving to the east. What you're going to notice Every little purple area on this map is a tornado warning. There were 17 of those tornado warnings that were issued today by the National Weather Service. I'm gonna have to go back and look and see how many is one of the worst days that we've had, certainly to compare. But today was definitely one of those memorable days where we had multiple tornadoes, likely multiple tornadoes out of those 17 warnings. The National Weather Service Storm Survey team is going to go out to Franklin County tomorrow. They're also going out to Bedford County and to Halifax County tomorrow to take a look at this damage, just to see if these were all indeed tornadoes or maybe there were straight line winds. But certainly these tornadoes come in all different shapes and sizes. Some could be smaller, some much larger, and the one in Franklin County was certainly on the impressive side. Now, still finding some scattered showers and some isolated thunderstorms, with the severe threat really winding down for us tonight. Can't rule out 1 or 2 showers, especially through the NRV, so just a heads up on that. I think the greatest impact that we would see tonight would be heavy rain if you get one of those downpours. Same thing as we get into Saturday, some scattered showers, maybe lingering into early Saturday night, and then Easter Sunday looking beautiful with those temperatures back into the 60s. We'll take a closer look at that weekend forecast for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Brent, thank you. A possible tornado hit a home in Halifax, knocking down trees and destroying their storage shed. WDBJ7's Kendall Davis has more from the scene.
As you can see behind me here, the destruction left by the storm that came through Halifax County is devastating, and the fact that the homeowners are still here to talk about it is nothing short of a miracle.
Ronnie Roller was working in his garage Friday afternoon when all of a sudden he heard the wind rowling through his yard. He ran outside to see what was happening, and before he knew it, debris was flying past his face, and he was stranded outside with nothing to hold on to. Roller says in a matter of just 30 seconds, everything was over. He walked around the corner to see his storage shed demolished and a number of other things in his lawn yards away from where he left them. Looking at what's left behind, Roller says he's only still here because someone was watching over him.
Just thanking God for the fact that I'm here and I'm not in the hospital and I'm not at a funeral home right now. Either one of us is just, amazing. And
making this Easter weekend one that Roller and his wife will never forget. In Halifax County, Kendall Davis, WDBJ7.
In Pulaski, heavy rains caused flash flooding in town, trapping cars and forcing streets to close around the city. WDBJ7's Eric Miller has been monitoring the situation all afternoon and has that part of the story.
We've had a few flooding issues before, but this time it rained so fast and so quick that the drains didn't have time to take it.
When floods fill streets in Pulaski, Chris Phillips grabs his yellow windbreaker and backhoe and gets to work.
Trying to keep the streets safe.
Phillips is Pulaski street superintendent, and he spent Friday diverting traffic and shutting streets. So many, in fact, it's almost easy to lose count.
I've got, let me see, 1, 2, 3.
For much of the afternoon, parts of Pulaski were a maze of flooded streets and swollen creeks. Water bubbled up through the pavement and left debris scattered in dozens of yards. Many said this was the worst flooding they'd seen in a long time.
I've been here for 20 years now in town, and I've never seen it over this block wall behind us.
On the south side of town, Katrina Tate was watching from her front porch.
And all of a sudden, the water just started coming in the yard.
As a tiny tributary turned into a torrent, the floods wrapped around Tate's house and filled her street.
I'd say about high up to your knees.
Tate considered calling for a swift water rescue, but decided against it. In fact, despite having 2 swift water crews on standby, Pulaski County officials say as of now, they haven't performed a single rescue all day. Now they say there's nothing to do but wait until the rains stop and the waters recede.
It's a time game. Once that creek right there goes down, the inlets will start opening up, so we'll be fine.
That was Eric Miller reporting. While smaller streams may have gone down, officials caution that larger ones are still on the rise. They ask that anyone that might have to get out tonight take extra caution, as rescues at this time of the evening are more dangerous.
Down trees, power lines, and even a roof thrown across a front yard. That is the scene in the Thaxton area of Bedford County tonight. This new drone video shows the view from above Sharp Mountain Road. No one was hurt. WDBJ7 Siobhan McGurl spoke with one woman who walked us through the storm moment by moment.
I mean, right there in the yard, shingles. Jody Lineberry surveys what strong winds left behind. Shingles in the grass, trees uprooted, lawn furniture thrown. It was just debris everywhere. When it was all happening, Lineberry was stuck outside in her truck. It was almost as though the truck was going to be lifted off of the pavement.
What was going through your mind?
I was scared to death.
It was very, very hard.
When things cleared, Lineberry tried to drive down the road but couldn't get anywhere. This is the aftermath of what she saw. Gray skies looming over the road with trees scattered on either side.
It was pretty bad.
The same winds ripped Chris Stage's barn roof off the base of the building. Pieces were laying on the front yard and hanging from tree limbs.
I was upstairs and I just heard real high velocity wind, and I looked out the window of my tree. All the limbs were just like straight up in the air.
In the storm's wake, about 100 were left without power. Crews spent all afternoon cleaning debris, but the Thaxton community walked away with no injuries and only minor damage to homes.
How fortunate we all are to be okay, and no one was hurt. And neighbors kind of come together to help each other. That was the good thing.
Siobhan McGurl, WDBJ7.
It's crazy to see those trees just
picked up,
completely out of the ground.
And it really is. It's a miracle that no one was seriously hurt or killed.
Yeah.
So we count our blessings for that tonight. Still ahead, many of you have shared photos and videos as the severe weather was moving in where you live.
We'll take a look at this storm from your perspective after this break. Today's storms brought damage to our hometowns in the blink of an eye, and many of you have been sending us pictures and some videos.
Jane Caffrey joins us in the studio now. Jane, there's some pretty powerful images that we've seen in the newsroom today.
Logan, Melissa, there sure are some unbelievable images that really capture the power of these storms and the damage that they can cause. Earlier today, we received this video from Alan Bailey. Now, this is just off of Fishburne Mountain Road in Franklin County, and you can see there was damage to several homes in the area and first responders on the scene assessing the situation. This photo was taken on Route 220. You can see a truck just crushed under that tree. William Ritter says his relative was injured when the tree fell on that vehicle. And the tornado in Franklin County left trees littered on the sides of Route 220. Drivers navigated around the debris earlier this afternoon. But after it all, a little bit of inspiration. Jennifer LaRue Ibrahim sent us these photos of a rainbow after the storm. This was on I-81 near Draper just after 6 p.m. She said the rainbow completely stretched over the interstate. And Logan, Melissa, very few good things come from these strong storms, except for maybe moments like that, or of course we've seen a lot of people coming together to support one another.
Yeah, which has been amazing. I mean, we've seen Mr. Anderson was his name in Franklin County, and all these people were gathering his things, and it was like an entire team of people, and they were friends and family.
Yes, it really brings people together.
It does.
And one of the things too, because Leanna Scacchetti was down there on that story that she had tweeted out, she said after we were all said and done, this man just lost everything. He said that, you guys be careful getting back to Roanoke, always thinking about somebody else rather than what is rubble behind him.
After losing everything he owns.
Pretty much. All right, Jane, thank you.
All right, Brent, this was the second severe weather outbreak that we saw this week. We're hoping this weekend will be much quieter.
It is. We're going to see some showers and maybe even isolated thunderstorms, but overall the weekend is certainly looking better. We'll take you through that Easter weekend, and I'll have a look at your sunrise service forecast for Easter Sunday. "17 tornado warnings that were issued today. We saw the one in Franklin County. National Weather Service is going to go out and investigate several more damage sites tomorrow. But one thing, this is a new video that I got this evening from 5:20 this afternoon, a possible tornado, or in this case, a water spout going right over Bugs Island Lake. And you can see that right in here. It's pretty much crossing the lake. The winds are picking up, and look at the white caps on the lake there, Bugs Island Lake. Just impressive with this storm that moved over, and certainly the National Weather Service will be investigating some of these storms over the next couple days, not just in Virginia, but in several surrounding states, South Carolina, North Carolina, and even beyond. Now, we do have some showers still to contend with, and even a couple isolated thunderstorms that have been watching this evening. Overall, the severe threat looks looks fairly low for us through the rest of the night and for the weekend. But with that being said, I can't rule out some downpours, maybe leading to some isolated flash flooding as this rain moves into already saturated areas. So just a heads up, at this point, I don't foresee anything that would be too ominous when it comes to tornadic or even severe thunderstorms, but we'll watch that and see how it progresses. The heaviest of rain today has been the New River Valley, 1 to 2 inches, in some cases 2 to 3 inches of rain, which did cause some problems and flash flooding in portions of Pulaski, Wythe County, Grayson, Carroll counties today. So that's where some of the heaviest of rain fell. Elsewhere, it was all about the severe threat with those tornadoes and severe thunderstorms. There's what we got earlier today. It's now tracking toward the north and the northeast, impacting the Outer Banks, and then all the way down towards Myrtle Beach area, getting some more showers. The upper level low is right here. So this is what will move through our region tomorrow, and that's going to produce additional showers. So again, the forecast model showing some rain showers overnight. We'll see those kind of shut off by sunrise tomorrow, a little bit of a break, and then as that upper low passes overhead, watch as that redevelopment occurs tomorrow. Now, we are going to see some showers, and I can't even rule out a couple thunderstorms tomorrow, but it will be much cooler, and our severe threat looks much lower tomorrow as well. So just a heads up on that. The primary chance of seeing those showers will be in the afternoon and early evening. So if you're trying to do some Easter egg hiding and all that fun stuff tomorrow, just know that you may be dodging some showers. Sunrise services on Sunday should be dry. We may even have some sunshine out early in the day. I can't rule out an isolated shower to the northeast as we get into the second half of the weekend, but overall, not a bad weekend. Cool start tomorrow, getting down into the 40s in the morning, and then by the afternoon, we'll see those scattered showers. It will be much cooler tomorrow with daytime highs about 57 Roanoke, close to 60 in Danville, South Boston, and we're looking at low 40s or low 50s rather, and upper 40s from Wytheville to Galax. So it's going to be a cool day tomorrow, but certainly just featuring some showers by the afternoon. If you're going to be going out on Sunday morning, no, it is going to be a cool start to your Easter Sunday, getting down into the low 40s by the afternoon, back to the 60s, and will gradually get warmer as the week goes on. If you're looking forward to some warm weather, well, hang tight. Look at Tuesday. 80 degrees.
Oh.
Yes, and then we do have another cold front that comes in, brings us some showers on Wednesday and Thursday. Okay. At this point in the game, I don't foresee anything severe out of those as far as a severe weather outbreak, but you know, we'll watch that and see how the week goes on.
81.
No.
I might finally be able to put the coat up.
The coat. Finally.
The big coat. That's
wash my car on Monday.
I get all the pollen off.
Yeah, for real. All right, Brent, thank you. Okay, coming up next, this severe weather event has spread far beyond just our region. Stretched down into North Carolina, even South Carolina, several other states. We're going to check on the wider impact after the break.
The tornado also caused major damage near the intersection of Route 220 and Fishburne Mountain Road.
WDBJ7's Joe DeShiel takes a closer look at what happened there.
We know what the tornado looked and sounded like as it tore through Franklin County because Doug Worley captured the funnel cloud on his cell phone.
We took cover pretty quick inside because we thought it was getting pretty serious.
And we can see the aftermath in this Air 7 video from Fishburne Mountain Road, where a home was torn apart by high winds.
Our mouth fell open and we just couldn't believe it, really, you know.
Despite all of the damage, the Worleys were feeling fortunate on Friday afternoon. Even though their rental home was destroyed, no one was living there. And while the tornado tossed a bus and other equipment, the scrapyard was closed. So the 6 employees who normally work there were not in harm's way when the tornado touched down.
Somebody had been in this house, you know, or even in the lot over there working. It could have really been bad, but glad for that.
In Franklin County, Joe DeShiel, WDBJ7.
And that same storm also caused damage to the rec center in Franklin County. Uprooted trees, bleachers tossed over fences, and a row of football lights are out. But thankfully, as we've been saying this evening, no one was seriously hurt. Officials are commending emergency crews for being organized and ready to help those in need.
Also very thankful for our public safety, Sheriff's Department, State Police, Salvation Army, VDOT, the Virginia Department of Emergency Management, many resources, cooperative resources today.
and the damage is estimated at around $300,000. Earlier today, hundreds were without power in Franklin County. Here's a look at the Appalachian power outage map right now. You can see power been restored to a lot of folks throughout the area, but still a few folks in the dark tonight. And
thankfully the tornado threat is over, but there are still areas that are seeing heavy rain. Chief Meteorologist Brent Watts has a look at the heavy rain. Hey there, Brent.
Hey, Melissa, the radar has been lining up once again, more specifically through the New River Valley, where we did have a lot of heavy rain today, several inches, 2-3 inches in some cases with some flash flooding. But that's where we're noticing more rain that is developing, moving from south to north through the NRV. Kind of give you an idea, right over Wytheville, also Hillsville, Carroll County along I-77. This is tracking to the north, so it's going to be moving right over you in Pulaski, which you saw already some substantial rain today that caused flooding. So just a heads up, we could see additional flash flood warnings or even some flood warnings that are issued for these areas in the coming hours just because of this rain that's moving through. I don't see anything severe in this at this time. It's more likely just going to produce some rising creeks and streams and ponding water. The other thing we've also been noticing is just even once the severe risk is over, the tornado risk is long gone, we still have those winds that are very gusty, and that's going to stay in the forecast tonight and through the day tomorrow. So waking up tomorrow with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. During the afternoon, we're only going to get up into the 50s with our shower chances returning, but notice that wind staying quite strong at about 10 to 15 miles per hour with some higher gusts. So it's going to be a breezy night ahead. Tomorrow looking fairly breezy as well and much cooler. We'll take a closer look at that Sunday forecast. If you're trying to hide some Easter eggs, that's all ahead in the 7-day.
In Danville, the wind knocked over a tree, damaging a car and 2 sheds. Take a look at what it did to the car and that removal process. Now, when the tree fell, it broke in 2 and the crane had to remove both large pieces. While we don't know exactly what time this all took place, we do know it happened this morning. And so far, this is the only damage known in Danville so far from the weather. At least 5 people have died after extreme weather in the south. 3 of them were in Mississippi, where several tornadoes have struck. Omar Villafranca is there.
Severe weather is leaving a wide path of destruction across the South, from flooding in Arkansas to here in Mississippi, where a tornado lifted trees and destroyed homes.
Oh my God!
Cell phone video from one homeowner shows the moment the entire front of her house was torn off. Morton Police Chief Nikki Crops rushed to this neighborhood where the twister touched down.
You were expecting to find dead people.
Exactly. I mean, who wouldn't have? You come in here and see all this destruction and you look at the houses and they're gone.
Outside Tallahassee, Florida, an 8-year-old girl was killed and a 12-year-old boy was injured when a tree fell on their home. The storm left a trail of shredded homes across Texas, including this one, which rolled from its foundation with a young couple still inside.
It just kind of kept on rolling. My wife was in the bathroom. It threw me into the wall and then out the window.
Flash flooding is possible from South Carolina all the way to New England. With thousands of flight delays and cancellations, travelers are urged to double check before heading to the airport. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Morton, Mississippi.
You know, we say we were thankful no one has lost their life here, but
yeah.
You do forget about the other areas around us.
I mean, just a massive storm.
Yeah.
Massive.
All right, still ahead, we're going to take a little break from the weather. Up next, how 2 churches in Southside marked this Good Friday.
And a veteran in one hometown getting ready to celebrate his 100th birthday.
An annual Good Friday tradition looked a little different this year due to the weather. Members from 2 churches in Martinsville still held the Carry the Cross event, but it was inside. Participants took turns carrying a wooden cross around First United Methodist Church, recited scripture from the Gospels, and sang hymns. Pastor Keith Ritchie talks about the significance.
God knows what it's like even to die with us, and assures us that as we near our death, we do so in the company of a God who says, I know what that's like. So you're not alone even in death. And then the good news of Easter is that death's not the final word.
First United will hold a sunrise service on Sunday at 7 a.m. on the front lawn of the church.
Hey, if you're a gamer, there's a new game app available for smartphones, and it has ties to our region. Bar vs. Blocks was designed by 2 Danville Community College students. So basically, it tests players' patience and skill at avoiding certain blocks at varying speeds and colors. The announcement comes only months after the formal launch of the students' game development company, Elusive LLC.
Really big learning curve, because the thing is that like we thought it would be easy, but making games like you think it would be easy, but it's actually really complicated doing like minor things.
It's a lot of code you got to put in there too. The duo hopes to create more games in the future and excited to see how many times the game will be downloaded.
All right, a World War II vet in Lexington has a lot to be excited about today. We caught up with Ray Painter as he looked through more than 160 birthday cards with his granddaughter and great-grandson. Can you believe that? 160. So his picture asking for cards for his 100th birthday went viral on Facebook.
Yeah, they keep floating in every day. All a male woman can carry up here. I never ever dreamt I'd ever do that. When I retired, I thought I'd live to be 70 or 75, and I done went way above that.
May every minute of your day.
Painter's birthday is May 5th, and he'll likely receive lots more cards before then.
That's pretty good. I like how more and more people are doing the photo on Facebook. Hey, you know, turning 100 or whatever it might be, send me cards, and they just a massive flood of cards coming through.
And you got to know this one, not only is he a World War II vet, but he's 100 years old. I mean, this is like a special
it's a double whammy.
I'm surprised he didn't get more than 106. Well, we're not to May
now,
yet,
yeah.
so.
He probably could have gotten anything he wanted, really. But he was very modest and, you know, asked for the small things.
Some cake and ice cream.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, listen, today a busy weather day. Finally things settling down as far as a severe threat, although we're watching a couple spots through the New River Valley with some heavy rain, even a couple areas of thunder and lightning too. So we'll monitor that and we'll take you through the Easter weekend forecast. That's all ahead after the break.
Okay, traffic jams are nothing out of the ordinary for drivers in Chicago, but when one officer saw what was causing the backup, she could not believe her eyes. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
This Chicago area cop is understandably frustrated.
There's a donkey in the middle of I-90.
Yep, a donkey was loose on a highway on the city's north side. Authorities say the animal, named Dusty, escaped from its trailer.
I am in the middle of the expressway with a donkey.
Yeah, all right, no one was injured and Dusty's owners were quickly found. Officials later tweeted the video along with a Shrek joke, because, of course, they did. This eerie video shot in Kilgore, Texas looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. But these flashing lights are actually power line transformers exploding. Multiple transformers exploded in succession, knocking out power to roughly 2,300 customers. Authorities aren't sure what exactly caused the explosions, but they quickly went to work restoring power. You know, for a good-looking dude, Game of Thrones character Jon Snow has been surprisingly dense when it comes to dating. Wait, doesn't he know she's...
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah, you can say that again. But you know who's got mad game when it comes to thrones? This welding student from Kentucky, who along with help from his instructors built a $7,000 replica of the show's Iron Throne. He did it for his new bride.
The show was one of the first things that my wife and I really bonded on. So it's a really important thing to us.
Take a look at this. I'm Jeremy Roth.
Game of Thrones, a lot of fans on that one. We'll be right back after this break. All right, today was an important day to keep your WDBJ7 weather app handy. If you do not have it, this is a good time to download it. Just search WDBJ7 in your app store. It is totally free. I know today, this afternoon, I got a text from a neighbor saying, Melissa, let's send the kids to the park. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing, because I had the weather app, though. It was going off that there was heavy rain headed to my area, so it's good to have, Brent.
I mean, listen, on days like today, it could save your life, and I'm not joking. If you get those warnings, kind of give you advance warning to get to shelter. We've seen so many tornado warnings today. In fact, 17 of them confirmed, 17 tornado warnings, and some of those already confirmed tornadoes. So we'll take a closer look at that coming up at 11 o'clock. Also, I'll show you the radar, if we can take a look at that. Just still some more showers that are moving through the New River Valley. Nothing severe at this point, but we are watching some heavy rain over the same areas that already had flash flooding earlier today. So we could have some additional flash flooding taking place in the New River Valley. So just a heads up, we'll monitor that for you. And if you missed that part, Tune in to WDBJ7 at 11. We'll have an update on that. Got some new video to show you too.
You guys were busy today.
Yes.
We'll see you at 11.